Hello, welcome to Max 9 tutorial number 13, Boxes in Boxes, which is the dramatic conclusion this week, the last video I'm making this week, after such fantastic ones as the tutorial on tutorials. You kind of get the idea here. The big secret, in which we learn to steal from the help files and from the tutorials, and finally boxes in boxes. So a very recursive week we're having, a lot like having to curse twice. Okay, here we go. And you may remember that we had stolen this side from a help file, and we had stolen this side from a Max tutorial, and we ended up with this cute little thing here. Let me just lock this. That plays music, and you can rearrange this by sending in some random stuff or just doing it yourself. Okay, enough of the music. In Max, for various reasons, we can put things in boxes. Like if you already sort of think of a patcher as a box, we can make smaller boxes in that box, and then we can take the whole box and put it in another box. And I'm going to show how to do that for various reasons. So let's just get to it. We're going to unlock our patcher. That's a little Command E there. And I'm going to drag my mouse over this. I'm going to leave the button out of it, just for the, because the button's useful. It's a interface. But so we have all these things selected, and now what we want to do is to encapsulate them. And as you can see, that's Shift Command E. So, or you can just click this, and we go ahead and click it, and watch what happens. Boom. Now we have all this stuff in one little box. Well, this P means it's a patcher, really means it's a subpatcher. And then we're going to put a space after it and type, what are we going to type? We're going to type randomizer, because that's what it is. That's the randomizer. And I just want to point out that it also, locking my patcher, it still works. Look at it go. So that's just great. So we can make this, as I like to think of it, just ridiculously neat. That is now what we generally refer to as a subpatcher. And with a subpatcher, it works like everything that was in there, but if you want, you can, but now it's contained in this little box. And just to show you that it's still there, I'm going to lock my patcher, and I'm going to double click on this, and then you see all those things that used to be there with an inlet. That's how the stuff comes in, and an outlet. That's how it comes back out, and then called randomizer. So close it. There it is. Double click on it when it's locked, and then you can come back here and visit your old stuff. So there you go. Just wanted to let you know you can always go backwards, right? So we can do that. If we, let's just say we didn't want to look at this, we can do the same thing. Just drag over them, and instead of going up here to edit and hitting encapsulate, I can, well, let's just look very closely at encapsulate. It says that is Shift Command E, which is probably on a PC Shift Control E. So Shift Command E. Can we do it over here? Yes, we can. And now we get another patcher, and we're going to call this one Tempo. Okay. So you can see how how this sort of cleans things up, and we end up with more space and a much neater little patcher. And of course we could make notes to ourselves about what all these things are. But what I wanted to show you today is the other kind of box. So this first box, these are subpatchers. Now, what if we wanted to have this, we really like the way this works with its randomization of notes, and we decide we'd like to make this sort of a component that we can use over and over again. Okay, again, just bear with me because this is a tutorial, and you know, we're just kind of thinking out loud here. So let's just say we want to take this randomizer and this, and we can even take this. I wonder what, I don't know why they're. Whoop. What's going on there? Who's messed up? Oh, there it is. Okay. It's supposed to look like that. So what we're going to need is the note out, but we can put the make note. No, we'll keep the make note down here. I was gonna keep that in the box with it. Okay. So what we're going to do is make a new box that essentially just contains these parts here, but makes it something we can duplicate and use a whole lot. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to drag over this button, our randomizer patcher, and this multi-slider. Now we have them all selected, and we're just going to copy them. That's Command-C, Control-C on a PC, right? And now we're going to open a new file, just like that. Okay, so now we click inside here, and we say paste. And there it is. Nice. Okay, does it still work if we lock it? Yes, it does. Great. So now we have this new working thing, but what we really want to do is make it into something that also works visually for us. So we have this thing that does that, and what we need to do is figure out what we want this to look like as a visual thing. So I'm going to open the inspector. Hey, inspector, come over here a little bit. Whoop. I always get stuck on this one because then you grab this side and it pushes the whole thing in. There we go. Thank you, inspector. Okay, so we want this and this to be in presentation, but I think we also want a message, like a button that we push that we understand really just what it is. And so I'm going to type the letter M, and I'm going to put my cap lock on and say randomize. Randomize. Go ahead and do it, man. Okay, and then we'll put the output of that going to the top of this little button so we can see when it works. Now, here is a trick. Because we're going to make this a box of its own, we need a way to get information in here and out of here, okay? And what I mean by that is you can see the information is leaving here. Well, there has to be a way for it to leave this box when it becomes a box, and there has to be a way for information to come in here and go right to this multi-slider from this tempo thing, right? So what we're going to have to do is click up here, just type the letter N, and then type inlet. And as soon as you click outside of it, you'll get an inlet. And this inlet is going to go right down to there. I'm going to hit Command Y just to make it square and neat. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here, which is I'm going to type the letter N again, and I'm going to type outlet. And then I'm going to connect the same side of this to this outlet. Okay, so, and now we're going to make the sort of graphic part of it here. So what are the parts we want in presentation mode? We want this one, we want this one, and we want this one. And I'm going to include them all in presentation mode. And then I'm going to put it in presentation mode. I'm just leaving it unlocked. And here is our, well, you know, that's a nice thing about presentation mode. You can just sort of make stuff up as you go along. So, and then randomize and spread this out. Oh, I hate when things are, remember, you know me. So I have this highlight. I'm going to come over here to the inspector and say, hey, stop putting that on the left. I like it in the center. There it is in the center. We like that better. And then we have this thing here. And I think we can just make this smaller. I mean, nobody's really, really sweating it here to move these things, right? And I think we could call it quits, except for one thing. Let's click on the background of this and get, there's that P that we're looking for, the patcher inspector. Well, let's make sure that this thing opens in, where's view? Sliding down here all the way. Wow, it's really far down. View, open in presentation. So we click that box, it'll open in presentation. And as long as we're here, why not have a little fun and find the locked background color, which is this very, very weird gray, and we'll just change it to, I don't know, something else, something a little more fun. So maybe, how about, how about not quite so, there we go. I always have trouble with this. You know, you think you're just going to do something simple, and it's never simple. So there it is. I'm selecting this color for this box. I'm going to close this, and there it is when it's locked. Now I just noticed something up here, which is, do you see this line here? This is supposedly the line that marks the end of your patcher. So we want to be, and I don't know why I'm off that line. I don't know what happened. But I think you want to be inside that line so that this will have a nice border naturally. Let's try clicking our lock here. That looks fine. Take it out of presentation mode, put it back in presentation mode. Good, good, good. We'll see if we have to deal with it later. But if we do, I'm just going to point out that there's a way to deal with it. Okay, let's put it in presentation mode. And what else do we don't have to do anything. So let's just save this and close it for the moment. Okay, so save. Oh, we have to, yes, I'm sorry. This is the most important part. I'm like treating it like this is not the most important part. Save this in your Max folder, right? For me, that's in Documents, Max 9, Projects, okay? And what I want to do is save this as something that I can definitely remember, like randomizer. Okay, and there it is in the projects, and we put it in there. Okay, and now we close it. Okay, well, now we come back over here to our, we're going to call this our main patcher, right? And we are going to put a new object in here. And the new object has a name called a bpatcher. And a bpatcher is a way to embed a subpatch with a visible UI, which means user interface. So there it is. And now I don't even know if you can see it, but there's this faint blue square here. We're going to click on it. Now you can see it. And we're going to come over here to the inspector, and we see down here that there's a patcher file that's associated with it. And go ahead, guess what we're going to choose. We're going to choose the randomizer. So now the bpatcher, whenever you associate it with this, the randomizer in this case, it's going to open thusly. Now, okay, so now this can be used this way as many times as you want. So for the sake of argument, let's take the whole thing and move it up here, and then option click on it and make 3 more. I know, this is excessive. Also exciting. So we're making kind of like a 4 possibilities of how this thing's going to work. Now, as stated before, what we need to do is get all these to output to this make note. And you'll notice if you hover around the bottom of these that there is one outlet. Now, I just want to make some clarifications here. You can see this coming out the right-hand side of this multi-slider. But the line inside of here does come out the left-hand side, but it goes to an inlet, and it sort of populates the inlets from the left when you put them in a bpatcher. So we remember that inside of this it's arranged that way. Anyway, so we go ahead and click on this, and we connect it to the make note. And in fact, we can do it the other way around too, which is we can take this and do this, but before we connect it, push the shift key down, bonk, bonk, and let go of your shift key and connect that one. There we go. Now we have these will be all feeding to this make note here, as they should, and I can't help myself. It's just what I do. Okay, so I'm going to move these down here so that okay, now we want the tempo to be feeding these, but I'm thinking maybe we would like it to be feeding one, then another, then another, then another, rather than all of them. And it also gives us the opportunity to learn a new object. So type letter N, and the object we're going to learn today is a gate. And a gate regulates data coming in the top out to the number of things you have on the bottom. So in this case, 4 possibilities that it could go to. And then you get another one, which you can see there is the initial state, and that just means which one is open first. And I'm just going to make it number 1 is open first. You can make 0 so they're all closed, but then nothing happens when you start it up. So once we click outside here, you can see that we get 4 outputs from the gate, and, and we can run each one. I'm going to command Y each one of these so that they're neat. Okay. Over there. Whoops. Backwards. Sometimes when you're trying it. Okay. And to that one. That's Command Y I'm hitting there every time. And then finally to the last one down here. And Command Y. Like that. All right. Now, how does the gate work up on top? Well, this is what tells the gate what number should be open. And so as long as you enter a number in here, it will open that gate and close all the other gates. So let's do this just the simple way and make a message that says 1. Then we'll make another message by typing the letter M that says 2. Another message that says 3. And another that says 4. So these are, let's just keep making things more and more cryptic looking. There we go. Okay. And using our old shift key method again, I'm pushing the shifter down as I attach 4, 3, 2, let it off, there's 1. So now these will change that gate, and then this, every one of these has a randomizer in it, so we don't need to connect this. But this, the tempo, that's the one we want. So we're going to steal this away from there, and this is the side of the gate, the right-hand inlet, through which the data goes. So, with all of that done, we actually don't need this anymore, so I'm just going to delete it and get it out of the way. Goodbye. And I guess that also means we don't need this randomizer anymore. Goodbye. Is that true? Yeah, it's got to be true. I sure hope it's true. Okay, so let's lock our patcher and see how we did here. We'll randomize, we'll randomize, we'll randomize, and we'll randomize. They all look kind of the same there. That's a little different. Come on, give me something weird. I guess that looks different. Actually, we can also do this. That way we'll be able to tell. Okay, so we turn this on. Okay, probably. Okay, how about 2? Oh, and also if 2, now it's going up. 3. It's kind of like the one-string samba here. So you can see this is basically working. So you have this thing that's just putting out bangs, more or less. It's actually putting out a fetch with a number that it's sending through this gate, and we can see it doing it. And here, if you hover your mouse over this thing, you can actually see it, what's going through the wires. I don't know if you were aware of that. So, last thing that went through there was fetch 15 before we changed it. Nice. So, and now, shut that off for a minute. We can also take this whole thing. I'm going to unlock it for a minute and say, hey, what would we like to see in presentation mode in this patcher? And I'm going to guess it would probably be these numbers, this and this and Well, let's put those include in presentation right there. It just occurs to me that you probably want some other things, like a comment that says tempo here. And we don't have to get too carried away. And also a probably, I'm going to say a load bang here, so that every time this device starts up, we can be sure that it will look at the MIDI and do that. But I guess we want this for rescan MIDI would be the right thing for that. So I'm going to type a C again and say rescan MIDI. Okay, and I'm going to put this one and this one, and also this one. We've just decided we want to see them in presentation too. And now we'll just put it in presentation and hope we get everything we want. There it is. And I'm not quite sure. What was that? Oh, right. So this is a little bit of a boring way to go about it. And then that there. So these all tell you what's coming in where. I guess these could. And these, yes, they could be there. Kind of an odd arrangement. Always hard to decide. I'm going to move this up here, this up, and then I guess we could put these next to the other ones, but I'm just going to do it this way. Right, so that's my machine. Gosh darn it. I'm going to close this. I'm going to make this thing go like this. There we go. Do what we like to do. Oh, we have one more thing to do. Don't forget, but I'll do this first. What am I doing? I forgot already. Define fixed initial window location. Okay, I'll do that. I just remembered that in the patcher inspector, we didn't tell this one to open in presentation mode, which of course we want. So we scroll down to view here and say open in presentation. Then we close that, and then we lock this patcher to make sure everything is looking as it should. And we're going to save it, and we're going to close it, and then we're going to open it again to make sure everything's working. Uh-oh, which one was it? This one? Yes, I forgot to update the name, but there it is. Now, you notice that when it opened, it's a little tiny bit lopsided. Oh, because it has the horizontal bars here. Or sometimes you just have to keep adjusting until you get it the way you want. And so I'll say view, define again, and there it is. So we've made yet another, whoops, I just did the opposite of what I wanted to do. So rescan the thing, make sure that you've got your synth selected, turn it on. Oh, we forgot to randomize. And here we go. There we go. So now you can play 4 different kinds of music if you ever had the desire to do so. And you can randomize them as you like. And now you've learned about boxes in boxes. Enjoy your music, enjoy your boxes, and I will see you next time around. Have a great time.